I'm Ryan Milliken from Hardway Performance, and you're listening to the Diesel Power Podcast.
This is Jaron Holder from Holderdown Performance.
This is Anthony Rings from XDP.
I'm Dimitri Miller with No Zone Diesel.
I'm Drew with D&J Precision Machine.
I'm Pinky.
And you're listening to the Diesel Power Podcast.
Diesel Power Podcast.
Diesel Power Podcast.
And you're listening to the Diesel Power Podcast.
The one and only Diesel Power Podcast.
Hello, Diesel fans, and welcome to the official Diesel Power Podcast. This episode of the Diesel Power Podcast is brought to you by Done Right Diesel Performance. If you're in the market for Cummins EFI live tuning, you need to call Done Right Diesel. I'm running it on my personal truck, and the power and response is a night and day difference. And you can't beat the pricing and customer service. Call Done Right Diesel Performance at 812-621-3031 or visit DoneRightDieselPerformance.com for your Cummins tuning needs. Our guest today is Alex from AirDog. Alex sets the record straight on the AirDog product line, warranty, and which pump your diesel truck needs. Let's get right into the details.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
You know, I was on social media or on Facebook last week, and I saw you guys had a video that was out, and it was really cool because it went incredibly in-depth with the AirDog product line, and it seemed like there had been some print ads or some marketing from another place that was questioning, say, some of the setups. And I wanted to have you on the podcast to talk to our listeners about what goes into your product, what's true, what isn't, and why these kits can help their Cummins Duramax or Powerstroke.
Yeah, we saw some things, that have been released about our product from one of our competitors, basically just talking about their pump and what they have and what ours doesn't have, and pretty much just trying to make their system sound better than ours. And we understand that from a standpoint. There's a big competition in this industry when you're a manufacturer of a product. You're always going to have competition, and basically that video is just setting the record straight for people. We didn't want to go out and bash another company for something that they had done. We just basically set the record straight on some of the accusations they had made towards our products. So that's basically what we were trying to do, is just give people information about our product and what the truth behind it really is. And if you go and watch the video, we really go in depth to the point to where you hear everything about when AirDog was first manufactured back in 1994 by Charlie Xtreme, who invented the AirDog fuel system, and everything since then. So yeah, that's basically what the video was about. It was just telling everybody, this is the AirDog product, this is the truth behind us, and this is what we do to make our product the best in the business.
A couple of the topics you guys chatted about was with the pumps themselves, and then with the replacement filters and water separators. Could you touch on, say, the pump evolution, and then also how people can get filters if they need them, if they don't order them from you but they're traveling out of town, and there's a number of different cross-reference filters that you guys have.
Yeah, so back in 1994 when Charlie had first made the AirDog, the system was made to do what it was designed to do. It wasn't made to be quiet. It wasn't made to be hidden and stuff like that. It was made to do its job of filtering your fuel, separating the water, and getting all the air out of your fuel. Well, over time, it went into the original AirDog system, which was a little bit quieter, not quite as loud, had the high flow fuel return and all of that, and it did its job. It was a little bit easier to mount, a little bit easier to put together with the quick connect line, stuff like that, more user friendly to the end user for the consumer and stuff. And then we went on to the AirDog IIs, to where it has a lower flow fuel return and you have adjustable fuel pressure on your pump. So that came out, and then we decided to move into making a pump that has no possibility of getting diesel fuel into the electric motor if the main seal was to ever go out. So our new AirDog II 4G pump is what is going to prevent that from happening. And not only does it get rid of that issue of having that main seal go out and having diesel fuel flood the motor, which is a common problem with which is a problem that can happen with both our motors and our competitors' motors. Basically, with that shaft seal, if it goes out, it'll flood your motor and it'll cause your electric motor to short circuit, and then you won't have a fuel pump. So our AirDog II 4G gets rid of that issue. And basically, it also, with the design that we have in it, it quiets the pump down so much to where you can't even really hear it underneath the truck. We have multiple reviews of people saying, we have to stick our head underneath the truck with the truck off to hear it running. I mean, it's so quiet to the point to where, we've got them on 6.0 power strokes that are getting rid of the factory lift pump running at 65, 70 PSI. And if you run a pump at that high of a pressure, you're going to have a lot of noise coming out of a pump that's running that high of a pressure. And they're still like, we don't hear this pump running underneath the truck. So that's one big thing we came out with the evolution of AirDog, with that AirDog II 4G motor that we have now. Another big thing that we have, like you were saying, our filters. We do sell our filters direct to the public. All of our dealers carry our filters. They're a 2-micron absolute filter, so you don't have to worry about a filter that says it's a 2-micron when really it's not an absolute number. And then we also, we carry cross-reference numbers like we said on the video. We have them for Napa, Wix, Baldwin, Fleet Guard. A lot of people, you can adapt the cat filter to fit onto the pump. It's all just a matter of there's a little tab on the end of the bracket that the filter head on the cat filters rubs a little bit because they're so big. But other than that, you can adapt the cat filter to it. And if anybody ever needs a cross-reference number, we're always here. If you guys need to talk to us, we'll always answer your questions. We can give you the numbers right off our head. So it doesn't take too long, even though we don't carry it on our website and everything. We're actually redoing our website right now. So, but we do have cross-reference numbers for the system, so you don't have to buy a direct AirDog filter to work.
What's really, I think, one of the most overlooked upgrades on diesel trucks across the board is aftermarket filtration, the water separation, and the lift pump, especially because these fuel systems are so expensive, and it seems like diesel fuel quality can kind of be hit or miss. And as diesel guys, the first thing we want to do is add power, add torque, do all these things. But we always recommend that people upgrade the fuel system first to protect their investment. And what does like the 2-micron fuel filter and the water separator that you guys have on your kits, how important is that to the rest of the fuel system, to the engine, and just protecting the hard parts and actually saving a pretty big repair bill if there's too much water in the fuel or contaminants?
Yeah, the systems are not just for trucks with a lot of aftermarket stuff put on them. That's why we make them for stock applications. If you're putting it on a truck that is an over-the-road truck, if somebody's hauling stuff back and forth across the United States, we have a couple customers that we did installs on to do longevity testing on them that are completely bone stock trucks that they use to haul cars back and forth on their trailers across the United States. And the filtration is going to be one of the biggest things in the fuel system. Filtration is number one. And then obviously a steady lift pump pressure on like a Dodge truck is going to be super important, as well as like the 6.0s and 7.3s. Obviously the vacuum-based Duramax trucks, it just takes away that secondary job source of the injection pump on those trucks, so your injection pump's not going to have to work as hard. So that's another place where the lift pump comes into play. You don't have to worry about your injection pump working twice as hard on those trucks, and then as well as having a steady fuel pressure to the other trucks who are very picky on what they get fed, especially like your VP trucks, who are absolutely mad at you if you don't have a lift pump,
Yeah.
and are going to destroy themselves. So that's another big thing that we try and do is produce a pump that's going to work properly and help you with those fuel pressure problems, especially on the VP trucks and the 6.0s and 7.3s and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, that's one big thing that we try and do is, you know, we make our filters so they are a 2 micron absolute, so you have that good filtration in your system. Our water separators, they have a 30 micron screening element, so they're screening everything down to a 30 micron before it even enters the pump. So once it drops down into the pump through the water separator, all that large sediment's been screened out, and then it runs in through the 2 micron fuel filter and separates all the air out of the fuel system as well.
What's the interval change on the water separator and the fuel filters?
A lot of people call and ask us that. You know, they want to know how long do I have to change my fuel filter. My buddies say I need to change it every other oil change. Some people say, well, it's just a water separator, I don't ever have to change it. The water separator is where your diesel fuel hits first, so it's going to see most of the dirt and debris that's coming into your fuel system. So you really need to change it every time you change your fuel filter. And we tell people, you know, I change mine every 15 to 20,000 miles, and we normally tell people change it once a year if you don't drive it all the time, or every 20,000 miles. I mean, we've seen good interval changes with that. We also carry a 10 micron filter, you know. People in colder climates like to do that, run a 10 micron filter for less restriction. And another thing that we're coming out with is we're trying to come out with a heating element for people in colder climates. You know, our system's a lot more compact than some other systems that have heating elements, so it's hard to introduce a heating element into something that's already made to be smaller and more compact and fit on your truck. So, but I think as of right now, I think we're going to be trying to do something to where it's a spin-on type preheating to where it like heats the inlet fuel coming in to the fuel system. So, but yeah, I mean, with the water separator and the fuel filter, we tell people, you know, change them every 20,000 miles or once a year. If you start seeing an issue to where you're getting fuel at different places and you're starting to see you're getting dirty diesel fuel, you know, we try and tell people if you can fill up at the same place all the time, you know it's good fuel, get fuel there. So that's one big thing. And then another thing we say, try and drain your water separator every so often just to make sure you're not getting large amounts of water in there. I normally drain mine like every 1,000 miles just to make sure that there's nothing in there.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, they're so accessible too, like versus depending on what kind of diesel motor it is, the factory fuel filter can be real easy to get to, it cannot be. So just to have them when they're on the frame where they mount, it's easy to service them and change them and drain it and everything.
Right, absolutely. I mean, it's as simple as opening the pitcock screw on the bottom of the water separator to see if you've got any water coming out of there. It takes 2 seconds, you know. I mean, you may get a little bit on your hand, but other than that, I mean, it takes 2 seconds to check and see if you're getting a whole lot of water in your fuel, and then it's as easy as spinning them off, pre-filling them, and throwing them back on to change them out. And like I said, I mean, yeah, where they're at, they're a little bit more accessible just because you crawl right underneath there and they're sitting right on the frame, and you can get to them pretty easy.
One of the questions, I'm sure you guys get it all the time, and all your dealers do too, is which pump do I need? Do I need the 100, the 150, the 165, the 200? What's sort of the guideline that you guys use to direct a customer on what kind of pump they need at different power levels or different uses?
Well, one thing that we do, obviously we have the horsepower ranges. Our 0 to 500 range is going to be your AirDog 100. 500 and up, normally 500 to 800, we're going to tell you to go with the 150 or the 165. The 165 is actually being replaced completely with that 4G motor we just came out with. Actually, all the AirDog II style pumps are going to be that 4G style here in September. So come September, the old style motors that you see will be obsolete. We'll be coming out with that 4G motor in the 100, the 165, and the 200. The only pumps that we will not carry the 200 in are going to be for the 6.0s and 7.3s for the high pressure. But all the other trucks will have a 200 gallon per hour 4G motor. But from the 5 to 1,000, we would say the 150 or the 165 4G. And anything over 1,000 horse, probably 800 to 1,000 and up, we would say you could run the 200. The 200 is going to be a pump that is for high fueling trucks only. I mean, you're going to have to have like a stroker CP3 and big injectors to be able to run that pump. I mean, if you're trying to run that pump on a factory CP3, it's really going to start causing issues to where that pump is going to be wanting to try and return more fuel than it's sending to the engine. And with the AirDog II low flow return, it's going to put a lot of stress on that pump, and it's going to cause it to go out a lot more, a lot earlier than it would if it was on a truck that was in the horsepower range it was supposed to be in. So when people call, we base stuff off of, what year make truck it is, figure out what they have, basic stuff that they have done to it. If they've got EFI Live, they've got an intake, they've got an exhaust on it, they may have done a drop-in turbo upgrade, something like that. Normally I point people towards the AirDog II 4G. It's been our best pump that we've had out so far. The failure rate on it is very, very low. I think we've seen two or three of them come back that people have dropped out of the box when they bought it, and it's broken the magnets off in the motor to where it wouldn't run. But other than that, the failure rate on them is slim to none, and they've been out for a little over 2 years now. And we've seen actually Rick Fox at Firepunk just put down $13.99 on a single 165 pump. So, they're a good fueling pump. They're going to be able to keep up with horsepower ranges. So that's normally what I point people towards. If you're going to spend the money, spend a little bit extra money to get the best system that you can get. And then, the reviews on them speak for themselves. We've got a lot of people who are super happy with the way that the 4Gs have been performing on their trucks.
Well, it's really nice how it's evolved. Like you said earlier, on a modified 12 valve, you're probably not going to hear the lift pump over the engine. But as the engines have gotten quieter, especially on the new ones, we're more sensitive to the sound. and with those 4G pumps, they are quiet. Like sometimes is it even running? And you have to go and get under the truck and then you can hear it. So that's really cool how it's evolved. And then also had the capability, like what it did on Rick Fox's truck, to be able to do that on a 165.
Right, for sure. Yeah, they definitely surprised me when I first started working here. I've been here for 2 years, and I always knew the AirDog II 165 or the original AirDog when I was growing up working on trucks, putting them on trucks. And then when I started working here, we were just releasing that 4G pump. And when I saw it and I heard it run and saw what it could do, I was honestly blown out of the water on how quiet the system really is. From going from the old style AirDogs, that have that drone and whine to them, just being a lift pump, doing what it's supposed to be doing. That 4G is it really just took my breath away when I knew that I was going to be working for a company that came out with something that was this nice and worked this well. But yeah, it definitely has evolved a lot in the past 10 years, 8 to 10 years from when Charlie in Jeff City, Missouri brought it over here to Indiana, and we started taking over the light duty diesel side and started doing everything for the pickup trucks, and it's really been it's really been a great honor working here with this company and being able to do things for everybody in this industry and meeting a whole lot of people in this industry and showing them just how well our product really works after everyone had that problem with us in the past, to where we were kind of chasing our tail trying to make sure, everybody was still happy with us and try and make things right. Ever since we picked up the pieces from that, we're really coming back strong with everything.
What kind of warranty are on the pumps and the kits?
We carry a full lifetime warranty for the original owner. So one thing we do is we include a lifetime warranty registration card in every kit. Also, if you ever have to buy a replacement motor from us, they come with a new full lifetime warranty on them. So what you do is when you purchase the system, you'll fill out your warranty card. It's already pre-labeled with our address and everything. All you got to do is fill it out, attach a copy of your receipt, and stick a stamp on it and send it back to us. So as long as you purchase the system, basically you're going to have a lifetime warranty on it. Most of the time, if somebody, we understand people get in a rush, they don't really look at the paperwork in the box. They want to put their pump on their truck. They want to get it installed. And then later on, when they're picking up their box they threw in the corner of their shop, they see this warranty registration card, and they're like, oh, crap. Hey, I forgot to send this in. What do I do? Well, if you call us and you have an issue, 9 times out of 10, if you bought it from a shop, they're going to have something on file from when you bought it if you don't have a receipt. And a lot of times, a lot of the shops will work with you. Everybody's pretty lenient, and they'll be like, yeah, we can send you a copy of your receipt, and then once we get a copy of your receipt, we'll send you out a replacement. We try not to be too hard on people. We understand people get in binds, they get in a bad spot, and they really need some help. So, we just try to help people out as much as we can, and make it fair to people who actually paid the money for our product. We want to keep our customers happy, so.
That's really cool. That's an outstanding warranty. And then also, if they have to buy a replacement pump or something, then they get a lifetime warranty on it for purchasing the pump. That's really cool. Yeah, and then like with our warranties, you don't pay for anything. You don't have to pay for shipping. If something's going on with your pump, we'll run you through a couple things over the phone. If we've determined over the phone that, it sounds like you need a new pump, we'll send you a new one. You don't have to send yours back. We don't have to look at it before we send you one. We'll send you one out and get you the new one. Sometimes we won't even need it back. If we do need it back, we'll send you a prepaid return label. We will pay for shipping both ways. We'll send you the new one. And then once you get the new one on and it gets up and running, then you can ship the one that you add back to us, so you're not having all this downtime between fuel pumps. That's really awesome. That's a lot of these trucks, they're work trucks and things like that, and it's just not even possible to, remove the pump and send it and wait and everything like that. So you guys putting your customers first and their time and then covering shipping on it and everything is outstanding.
Yeah, for sure. We understand people do use their trucks every day for work, whether they're hauling stuff or even just using it as a daily driver, and that's the only vehicle they have. We understand that. So we're going to try and do everything we can to help you out on our end. We understand people get frustrated with us, on the phone and stuff like that, but there does reach a point to where we can only do so much over the phone and help you out, but we will go to the end of the earth to help out our customers, especially here in the tech department with me and Brandon and Billy that we just hired. We try and do everything that we can to help everybody out. We try to be as fair as possible. We try to be as understanding as possible, we've all been in a bad spot at some point in time, so we just really try and help everybody out here.
It's really cool because we can all, as diesel enthusiasts, we can all read the print ads or go on websites and get the sales pitch. But what really separates, when someone's looking at companies and everything is what happens after I have the part. How are things handled? And just hearing how you guys do it is, it's not the norm, and it's really cool just to see how all in you guys are to help your customers, protect them, be fair, and make sure that they're happy with their purchase and their product.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're going to have failures in pumps. I mean, we, just like this past year, we were at Rudy's. I had a guy come up to me, and he said, hey, my AirDog's not turning on. So, of course, I'm working the booth. I'm there by myself all weekend. I'm lucky enough to have some really good friends in the diesel industry that will hold down the booth for me if I need to go do something, and they won't give away all my stuff. but basically, he came up to me. He said, I've talked to people. They said you guys really stand behind your product. My pump's not working. Well, he brings me over to his truck, and I go over to his truck and look at his AirDog. Well, this AirDog is like ancient. I mean, it is like back when we first brought AirDog over here. It still got the AN fittings in it and everything, and it's not turning on. So I run a couple tests on it, make sure it's getting power to it, this, that, and the other. Well, turns out the motor itself is bad. It had reached the end of its life. Well, we didn't have any replacement motors with us, and one of our dealers happened to have a AirDog 4G with them to sell. So I kindly asked him, do you care if I take this pump and I'll send you guys a new one when I get back to work on Monday? So I robbed a brand new AirDog 2 4G kit out of this AirDog 2 4G motor out of this kit and laid in the parking lot at Rudy's, got soaked in diesel fuel, and put this pump on the kid's truck for him. And he didn't even buy the pump when he got the truck. He bought the truck and the pump came on the truck. So I didn't know it. I just, I feel bad for people. He said that he had like a 3-hour drive home and he had no lift pump. So, I mean, that's one big thing. And all his friends are like, oh, you should have bought this and you shouldn't have bought that because it's this company. And, I mean, a lot of companies, they don't want to lay out underneath a truck at an event and change something out for a customer. But I know that there are a lot of other companies out there that will as well, and we're one of those companies that, if you need help, we're going to help you out. I mean, we always try and give back to the community here in Shelbyville as well as help our customers out. So that's one big thing that we pride ourselves on is our customer service. I mean, we really always try and help somebody out. We understand people are going to get frustrated with us sometimes when all the cards don't align right and we're not really able to warranty something if it's a certain circumstance. But 9 times out of 10 we're going to help somebody out whether they bought it or not.
That's awesome. That's what it's all about, and what we all want is make sure if we need help that we're taken care of. And I know you're busy, and I wanted to thank you for coming on to the podcast and chatting with us about the pumps and the service and the technical side of it, which is what we all want to know about, for our truck. So we're glad you could come on to the Diesel Power podcast and talk with us today.
Yeah, it's no problem. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. I had a good time letting everybody know and letting you know exactly what we do over here at AirDog.
Big thanks to AirDog for joining the Diesel Power podcast and telling us about their product line, pumps, and customer service. We also want to thank Done Right Diesel Performance for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. If you want custom EFI live tuning for your Cummins, hit them up at 812-621-3031. Tell them the Diesel Power podcast sent you. Until next time, keep the shiny side up.